Hello and welcome to Two Beards, a podcast of Wrexham AFC. How the fuck are ya? Can you feel it this week, Adrian?
Yep, that's it.
Oh,
We
it's
got the
getting
first
good.
we got the first fuck out of the way 2 seconds into the pod, so you know it's good. Honestly, it is match week. It's the most exciting. Your shirt arrived literally at perfect timing. Mine arrived the week before, but now we can both just be ready for the game at at the obscene hours that they are in Australia. But luckily for you, you're in WA. It's at night, crisp 10 p.m.
10
slot for you.
o'clock at night. I mean, I'm normally up editing at that time of night. So, hey. Oh, I
That's not
tell you
that
what,
bad.
I'm excited, mate. It's going to be a good pod today. It's going to be a good week. I can feel it in my plums.
Really? Can you feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Feel it in your plums, mate. I think we've got something this week where we have finally that it's, when you talk about Christmas all year and you're like, I can't wait for Christmas or I can't wait for a holiday or whatever it is. And you just do it. That's what it feels like, mate. It feels like Christmas Eve and we're about to open our presents and the presents is trying to go back to back.
Oh, it does. It does. It does. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? We get to bring you guys the news next week as well. So make sure you are liking and subscribing to this podcast. So that way you get all the updates. You get to connect with us. You get to do all that. We have a website, twobeardsmedia.com. And we
Nailed
also
it.
have a Patreon program as well, which will enable you for a free giveaway, access to our Discord server. We get to give you a shout out every week, and you get a discount off merch for only how much, Adrian?
Fuck it if I know.
Oh, fuck. $5 a week. $5 a week. Oh, no, not a week. $5 a month. Sorry. Fuck
$5 a
me,
week.
another
That would have
gaff.
been bad. That's
Oh,
all right,
no,
mate.
$5 a week.
That's not a
Why
bad
would you
gaff.
pay that to listen to us?
Yeah, mate. Why would you? $5 a week's a bit steep. Fucking Jesus. I don't buy milk that often.
Oh, dear. So, raise a glass to you listeners. I should call you beard brethren.
Oh,
It might be
oh,
something, beard brethren.
Beard brethren. Thanks to what's his name, Mister Doge.
Mr.
Uh,
Doge.
well
What a
done
guy. What a
on
guy.
the fan art. Is the way I would word it, with the beards over the players. So looking good, mate. Looking good. So well done. Yeah. So $5 a month on the Patreon. Really excited to have some people on board already.
JW
But
Craig, shout out. Will Huddersfield, shout
no,
out
you keep
to.
saying what it's Will Sudworth.
Oh, Sudworth. Mate,
Hardest.
I just keep going, don't I?
You know what, mate? Let me do the spiel. You got this, mate. You just have a lie down. All right, we got this.
All right. You're good for the rest of the pod because I'll just,
Yeah, that's
go
it.
whack
Let's
off in
just
the corner.
go for it, mate. Fucking shit. Jesus.
Oh,
It's
geez.
not
Not
even
even
been
5
five
minutes in.
minutes. Not even 5 minutes. I actually, what's funny is like, it's now become like a shtick where you say something outrageous, I overreact, and then the people think that that's funny. But don't laugh at him. Don't encourage it. It just makes for more bullshit.
Oh, mate, that's why they come back every week to listen to us. Let's be honest, all right? They want to hear me give some gaff
They
and
want to just.
completely throw you off and break you.
My favorite is you paused at. They just want to hear me, and then you paused at that part. Like they just want to hear me.
Yeah, no, I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that shit, and we're gonna put that one up on YouTube as a short.
Well done, Chief. Well done.
Oh,
Look,
geez.
honestly,
So
enough
big
enough
week,
about us.
big week, and we've got some news this week as well, regarding Paul Mullen, who happens to be getting the star treatment in LA for the next couple
Yep.
of weeks.
We predicted it. We predicted that he'd be put up in either Ryan or Rob's house, and we mentioned Rob's the closest, being in LA. So yeah, isn't it nice of him to be putting him up, putting pillows behind his head, and making sure he has a good night's sleep while Rob is actually flying off to Wrexham.
I know. Like, oh, geez, I tell you
What a
what.
world!
What a well. Good owners, though. Rob's, what a guy. What a guy Rob is.
Could you imagine they just said, sorry, mate, foot the bill yourself, go stay at the fucking, I don't know, what's a shit motel chain?
You know what? I want Rob McElhenney to read me a bedtime story.
Do you know that Ryan Reynolds reads bedtime stories?
No, I don't give a fuck about him. I want Rob.
You know what? It's so funny. My recommendation on YouTube
and
now
Ryan
is
Reynolds,
that algorithm.
I'm sorry, mate. If you listen to this podcast, which I highly doubt you do, but if you do, I'm not sorry.
You know what's funny is you can tell the paranoia that's happening right now, and you can see Chris's face tick over whenever he makes a claim, because he'll have to like pull himself back and then go, nah, fuck it, I'm going doubling down. So yeah, anyways, my point was, and to finish the sentence, was that we looked at, like, the YouTube algorithm now had recommended Ryan Reynolds' sleep time stories. And I was like, I wonder if other Wrexham fans are getting that. Like, do you reckon they're just like, I want to look at, best goals of the 90s. And then the third recommended video is just Ryan Reynolds reading you fucking Bar Black Sheep. I don't know. Like,
oh, maybe for the men out there, they're getting recommended Ryan Reynolds deep fakes on Pornhub. Oh, no.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Oh, no. No. Oh, shall we just end it?
I say call it, honestly. It was nice running a pod for 10 episodes. This was the 10th episode, but you know what? It was meant to end at some point. And just like Icarus, Chris flew too close to the sun and has cost us everything. So thank you, mate.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
Your silence then was just deafening. No, we love it. So, hey, look, listeners, we love you. We hope you're enjoying this pod. Please like and subscribe and share the shit out of this pod, because we need more followers. We're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube and we want to get there so bad. So it'd be good to do it on our 10th episode. Please like, subscribe, and share. And then
holy shit, you've mentioned it 6 times.
Well, after this, we will be into our next segment. So cue the fucking music. Ow. So here we are, our next segment. We're going to preview this weekend's game against the MK Dons, Plastic FC motherfuckers.
Yep.
What can I say about them? They've come down from League One. We did a preview a couple of episodes back featuring MK Dons. But I wanted to sort of have a look at how they're setting up this year and sort of understand where they're coming from. That said, they've been spending a shit ton of money as well. They got rid of a lot of good players when they were relegated. So they did get
as
rid
most
of
clubs
players.
do.
Yeah.
As most clubs do. When you go down, the talent wants to stay up, so the talent's not going to stick around. So honestly, it is not a surprise to me that that's happened. And it's just interesting to see how they're going to fare. Also, being in the same league as Wimbledon, as well. Obviously, the team that they originally kind of terminated or moved, relocated, and renamed, and basically erased their history. So, I'm really intrigued because this is known as the Disney FC versus Plastic FC. The joke is, amongst all the other EFL teams, but to that I say, you know what? At least with us, we've got history, and it wasn't erased and it wasn't moved, and we're just adding to that history. So, honestly, we'll play well. I think being at home, first game, it's an absolute blessing in disguise. I think we'll be able to pull the crowd together, and the crowd has been, like, and you can tell from just social media, it's been at fever pitch to the point where people are just like, I need to get into the turnstiles, back into that seat, and going off chops. Like, I think we'll get a similar crowd noise to Boreham Wood, just because of that pent up angst, that pent up almost rage against everyone hating us. And I think we'll definitely pull it to our advantage.
Well, they've been given 1,100 away tickets. So, and they've sold every single one of them.
Yep.
It's a sellout game this weekend. I know a lot of fans had trouble getting tickets, and a lot of people a bit butthurt about that. But those problems will fix themselves. We've already addressed that. But yeah, I tell you what, the game this week. I know me personally, I'm pumped about this game. Like I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, having a look at some of their key transfers. I know they've been spending a fair bit of money.
Yeah.
Nick Harness from Charlton Athletic was an interesting one. But they lost one of their mains, William Grigg, to Chesterfield.
Yeah. I mean, that, like, I know we don't talk about National League anymore, but just for 2 seconds, if Chesterfield don't win the National League, it'll be the biggest flop since we didn't do it a couple years back. Like, it'll be the biggest flop because they have literally got a side that should do it. In saying that, I can tell that Will Grigg has aged.
So can I just, I want to add in on this one, right? I have a funny feeling. See, when you do so many changes, I mean, we're looking at almost wholesale changes to their first 11.
Yeah.
You're coming up against a side that is so well oiled, is an absolute machine, and they're so gelled, and they've been together through thick and thin from last year.
Yeah.
And you're going to throw at them a side that hasn't really played together that much, hasn't had that time to gel and make those connections with one another. I don't think that's that. I think maybe later on in the season that's going to be okay, but I think to start with, I think they're going to struggle finding their feet. I mean, you're looking at a lot of changes to their lineup, and they got rid of a lot of people. They brought more people in. They spent a lot of money trying to get quality, but quality means shit if your team don't gel.
Well, you can tell that's why Parky's doing a similar thing, because everyone's like, why haven't we signed a striker and blah, 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 whatever. And the reason I always kind of counter that is Parky's literally waiting for someone to gel in the room. Supposedly he's talked to many of the strikers, many people have come in, and he's looked for the right person to fit in that dressing room. He doesn't want egos. And unfortunately, as it's been mentioned before, 99% of strikers have an ego. We're lucky with Paul Mullen, you know what I mean? Like, whereas, he's probably that 1%er who doesn't really have that ego. So, whereas unfortunately the rest of them, do. So to find someone else to fit into that kind of mentality, again, it's hard. So I agree. If they've just brought in people who are bigger names, and this is MK Dons, obviously we're talking about, if they're bringing in bigger names and all these things that they're doing to change things up, but there's a reason why, they're not people's favorites. I know people are talking about Stockport. They're talking about Wrexham. They're talking about Notts. Why? Because they've kept a similar squad together and added perfect additions. Whereas everyone else not everyone else, but the ones that have come down have obviously, like you said, wholesale changes. So I think we'll see that definitely affect this week. I'd be interested, though, to see how this week fares.
I think there's a stigma around them, being from League One, and the fact they got relegated from League One. But that stigma is, I don't know how founded that can actually be, considering their last 5 games in League One, they really only just held on. It was getting pretty close between them and Cambridge, but they lost 2 and drew 3 of the last 5 games last year. And not only that, they're friendlies this year. Have you had a look at this yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so to our listeners, if you haven't actually looked at this, and this will give you some insight with where I'm going with what I'm thinking, which good luck with that. But anyway, okay, so their first friendly was against Barnet National League side Barnet. We all know them very well. Here's what the score was. 1-1. Their next game was against Coventry City, my former team.
You got to stop saying that like it's a badge of honor.
I do still have a little bit of a soft spot, but I mean, that's mainly because I was born there. But they played Coventry in a friendly. How do you think they did?
Probably lost.
Oh, yeah, of course they fucking lost. But come on. How do you think they did?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I haven't seen it, so possibly 3-0 loss.
If you were to guess a score line, right, for MK Dons versus Coventry City, what would it be?
Coventry City 3-0.
Coventry City 5, MK Dons 1.
Right.
Fucking stomped.
Yeah. But I mean, these are hard, right? Like, it's like if you go off of that same thing, like you could say we got stomped by Chelsea, but it's a different scenario. But I agree with you. These are friendlies. They should be, putting up some fight.
Yeah, they should be putting up some fight, especially when they're playing at home against Coventry.
Again, Coventry are what? They're a championship club. So we kind of, I'm not trying to let them off here. I'm just saying that definitely, I'm sure, has a thing to play in it. I'm trying to be devil's advocate here, but I think the best part is, you're right. That first friendly is a tell-all. They're playing a fucking National League side, and they're
Barnet.
and they're not winning that, or even remotely. Yeah, like 1-1 is quite telling. Again, these are friendlies. We can't go off of that. They might just walk the fucking the park this league. We don't know until these first couple of weeks kind of settle in. We see where teams are at. But I totally agree that Barnet game for me is a telltale.
I get it. We lost 5-0 to Chelsea. You can easily argue that and throw that in our face. But motherfucker, this is Coventry City, not Chelsea. Not Maurizio.
But yeah, I mean, I see your point, but at the same point, I'm saying that they are 2 leagues above. So, they're 3. It's 2 leagues above. So that's how I look at it. So I get you though. I get you. Friendlies, they're friendlies at the end of the day. But the Barnet one is the big one for me is that telltale. I wouldn't really reflect too much on the Coventry one because they did actually end up scoring against them, which a lot of people might not do against a championship club. So, but that Barnet one is a telltale to say, hey, they are not ready yet. But they might get their groove later on. They might get it against Wrexham this week. We might go down 3-0. Who knows?
Their third friendly and final friendly was against Northampton Town, League One club. Are they League One or are they Championship? I think they're
League One because they went up last year from League Two, as far as I'm aware. Or no, or did they go up from League One? Hold on, fuck. Oh, it's 92 clubs you got to worry about, and it's just like fucking Jesus Christ.
Google magic out.
Good old Google.
All right, hide away all those porn sites, and just Google Northampton Town. So,
guys, just a reference here. Chris writes these jokes down just before the show, and he has them ready for you. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't. So let's have a look at League One. So they're a League One. So they went up from League Two last year. I'm pretty sure they won all the league, or they came close to the league.
So they had a friendly against MK Dons.
Yep.
The score.
So
Northampton Town 3, MK Dons 1.
Yep.
So out of all their friendlies, they only scored 3 goals.
Yep.
And they lost they lost 2 and drew 1 against the National League side. Are we worried about them with no Paul Mullen?
No,
are we really, when you think about it like that, are we really worried about them with no Paul Mullen on the side?
I mean, regardless of the friendlies, I don't think we should be worried. It's the first game of the season. There's such a long season to play. I have a feeling, I think I said like a couple of weeks ago when the fixture was announced that it'd probably be a draw. Like it'd just be super fitting. All of this stress, all of this anxiety. Finally, we get to the Football League, and then we fall a little bit flat with the draw. But like you said, since seeing their changes, their wholesale changes, yes, we don't have Paul Mullen, but we have an incredible locker room of players and staff who are still there, who are still fighting for the next promotion. I've changed my mind. I think we'll win. I don't think we're going to spank them by any mean. But I'm thinking 1-0, 2-0 could be suffice. But at the same time, it's the first game of the season. We'll see.
First game of the season. We've been obviously in America, so we've had that to contend with, but apparently the club's been employed special sleep people and dietitians. And...
I told you, it's Ryan Reynolds reading sleep stories.
Can I just say this real quick, right?
This never ends well, by the way. Yeah.
No. This one's Rousey's deep moment for the pod.
Oh God.
Fans, Wrexham fans, podcast listeners, we all love Wrexham, right? Please understand something. Wrexham gets clicks. So you're going to have your BBCs, you're going to have your Mirror, you're going to have all these fucking media outlets throwing Wrexham in the mix, because anyone sees Wrexham, they're going to click on it. It's just how it works. Their stories are complete fucking bullshit, right? Absolute bullshit. Right? About as good as me to use this fucking bog roll, right? That's how shit the stories are. And if you don't know what bog roll is, it's toilet paper. But anyway, we'll get on that. I mean,
translations.
Really, it's shit. And they're throwing the Wrexham name around to get clicks. Just like these motherfuckers out there using Wrexham's name to boost their stock. You know, it's like
I'm with you. You know what? I think the hardest part about what you just mentioned is exactly it. It's all drivel. It's all shit. But when other clubs complain, so this is another thing I'm going to get onto. Do you think anyone outside of League Two clubs give a shit about League Two? No, they don't. But now Wrexham are here, and Wrexham are getting them clicks. They're getting clubs clicks. They're getting more people going to games. Think about it. Last year, Barnet didn't sell out every game. Guess which game they sold out? Fucking Wrexham. What games are people selling out? So this is beneficial to not just Wrexham, guys. This is beneficial to the league and the other teams. But they don't see past that. They think, oh, bloody Wrexham, fuck this, fuck that. Oh, like they get miserable about it. But at the end of the day, Notts County, people follow Notts County now. People watch Notts County now because of the chase that we had together. And that was to do with Wrexham articles going out there, ESPN covering it, fucking BBC, fucking whoever, their mum, whoever, saying whatever the fuck they want. It is a good thing for the league. As much as they want to hate to say it, as much as they think it's selling out, it's not. And it helps every single one in that league. And you watch every game against Wrexham this season will be close to a sellout every fucking time because of it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You're going to get your 12-year-old fans too calling you nonce, because I think that's really the only word they know how to say, and they think it's the most offensive. But yeah, it's not being nice being referred to as a pedo, but fuck me, get some vocabulary about yourselves, you fucking dingbats. Like, Jesus Christ. Fuck me. Like, every single time I see something from a 12-year-old fan of another club that is trying to troll, they're using the word nonce. Like,
but it's not just them, Chris. It's not just them. It's the 30, 40, 50-year-old people who are on, and I'm part of that bracket. I'm almost 30 myself, so I'm not having a go at an age demographic. But what I'm saying is, so many times they'll post something and they'll be like, oh, fishing, oh, got them, hooked them. And it's like, you didn't mean to do that. You didn't mean to bait people. You just did a post thinking no Wrexham fan would see it. One Wrexham fan found it, blew up your spot, and then you just fucking lost your shit.
Exactly.
And you just go, I'm baiting them. Yeah, fuck off.
And you know what? I'm in Western Australia. Come down to Western Australia. I'll take you over to Rottnest Island, and you can fucking sit there and laugh your brain dead fucking ass off while a quokka fucks your leg.
He's
That's
really
what I
trying
think.
this week,
Hey,
boys.
you know
Boys
what?
and
That's
girls.
better than nonce, isn't it? Hey,
Yeah.
fans?
No, it is better.
Don't you
It's
agree?
better than nonce.
fucking nonce, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, have a quokka come on your leg. There you go. Let's see how you like that.
Oh,
About the
we are
only
so
animal in Australia that don't want to kill you, but they will fuck you.
Oh God, we are definitely getting cancelled this week. Fucking Jesus. You know what? It's so funny because I have nightmares where it's just episodes where it's the Wrexham content leaves and it's just terrible Australian sayings with swearing, and I'm like, oh God, it's ever. And then I realize I'm living that nightmare. I'm living that fucking nightmare. And this is from the English guy, by the way, with an English tattoo. So what the hell is happening? I don't know what the fuck is happening. But you know what, guys? I am not a part of it. I am legally like not me.
I mean, you could say you're an enabler if hey.
Oh, Chris,
yeah.
you know what? He's got a point. But look, honestly, Chris,
No, but
you said it.
I honestly, that little burst was just an example of how you can be clever than using a word like nonce.
Yeah.
Like,
If you guys don't know, he did get trolled by someone and they did call him a nonce. So that's
I did get
just
called him.
I think it's been eating away at him. So he's just kind of had to
No,
bring it up
it's just
today.
like,
But that's
I'm
okay.
going to sit there and think about it. It's just like, well, come on, like at least be fucking creative about it. You know, you're going to put yourself out on the
only teasing. Only teasing.
At least make it worth it, you know?
Yeah. No, I get you, but don't worry about him. Fuck the haters. Look, to be honest, mate, my favorite was and for the listeners listening, one of the best parts about Wrexham Twitter, if you would call it, not Wrexham Twitter. What's it called now? Wrexham X. Jesus. Thanks, Elon, you dumbass. Anyways, what I think is funny is like exactly what you said, which is it's become a very volatile, toxic place, but it's always been that way. But I think the difference is 2 years ago, Wrexham was little Wrexham and people wanted to see them succeed. Now they're succeeding and now they fucking hate us.
Now we're a threat. So
yeah,
you know
exactly.
you're doing it right. When you start to get haters, you know you're doing it right. Don't feed the trolls, guys. You know, let the quackers handle them.
That's it. Let the quackers handle them. I'm putting that on a shirt. Let the quackers handle them.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be Chris's face on a quacker. So if you just want to lean away from the mic for a moment, this is your editing thing for this week.
Did you just subtly hint that I've been fucked by a quacker?
No, I'm saying you should be a quacker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to just move away from the mic, and then your editing thing this week will just be so you're there, and instead of your body and the jersey, I want just the quacker body, you know, your head on top of it. There you go. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Those who are listening is probably like, what are they talking about? That's for the YouTube. If you haven't seen our YouTube, Two Beards, fucking Two Beards, a podcast, and Wrexham AFC. What a mouthful. We should have named something shorter. That's for sure. Okay, back to track. Back on track. So looking at fixtures, I would like to just mention this week, Chris, my score prediction for this week is a 2-0 win to Wrexham. I think it'd be great to see something from us to make a statement that we're not just talk, we're not just a fucking Hollywood team. That's not who we are. And I think the only way to prove that is results. So the way I would look at it is that clean sheet. I've been pretty negative, to be honest, like in the preseason talking about things, but obviously when it comes up to teams like an MK Dons at home, I've got to back our boys. If it was away, it might be a different story. I would be predicting the draw probably, but at home, at the racecourse, place is bumping, 2-0. What about you, bud?
They're going to score early.
Mm-hmm. Like every game that we played in the National League, they score early and then we win.
Yeah. 2-1.
2-1. I like it.
It'll be 2-1 or 3-1. If Mullen was playing, I would have said probably 3-1 for sure, but I reckon 2-1.
2-1.
And
That's great. I don't
we
think we'll
see
score
Ollie
more than
Palmer
2.
back on the score sheet. Making a call there. Ollie Palmer back on the score sheet.
All right.
So,
And if we can put up Chris's multi up on the screen here, you should see Ollie at $6.70 to get the first goal scorer. And then we've also got his match prediction of 2-1. So as a multi, gamble responsibly. No, we're not sponsored by a gambling place. I'm just fucking with you.
but if you do want to sponsor us, feel free because we ain't got no sponsor yet.
You hear that, sports bet?
Yes. Yes, that's right. So yeah,
Anyways, mate,
hey,
love
excited for it. It's going to be good. Footy's back, baby. Yes.
Yeah, the footy's back. The
All
footy's
right.
back.
Wigan is also during the week, so by the time we record our next episode, we'll know the results of those. So we'll be reviewing both episodes of both games.
Yeah.
In the next episode.
Ooh, so I want to know your prediction on this one because this is definitely a different one. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm going for 2-0 on this one.
A win?
A win, 2-0. Yeah.
Nice.
Wigan are fucking shambles at the moment.
They are actually. That is a very good point. Look, I think I might even do the inverse of what we just did on the other. You said 2-1 previous. I said 2-0. Now I'm swapping them around. I think we'll go 2-1. We'll win. I like to think, again, because we're lucky enough to be at home, I'm not saying Paul Mullen will be back for it, but, got to be a sniff at some point. But no, look, I think it's a hard task to beat us at the racecourse, if for any team. So, yeah, look, I do see us winning. I do see them being more of a threat than Wigan, obviously, because of their league positioning. So, yeah, look, 2-1 for me against Wigan.
2-1 against Wigan. All right. Okay. So this is going to be an interesting week. We come back. We got 2 games within 5 days. And we get to do it all over again for the next 7 months. Late nights. Really, really late nights.
Yeah. I mean the Wigan game, just for context.
On at 3 o'clock in the morning in my time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to fucking hurt. But
yeah, the EFL game,
because we love the club. We love Wrexham. We're going to be up. We're going to be cheering the boys on.
See, I think that's not so bad because you could probably go back to sleep. For me in Adelaide, it's 4:30 in the morning. And I'm like, it's like not enough time to go back to sleep to wake up for work. So I feel like, shit. Like it just goes, like it'll finish and it'll be when I would usually get up. So it's like, you know what, we do it for the love of the club. Don't want to, and we're not special, by the way. I think one of the biggest things is, people in when Wales, oh my God, when the population of Wrexham were watching the US games, it was like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And they were saying, oh God, that's crazy. And, some Aussies, some randoms were just like, oh, that's what we do every week. But at the same time, you do it because you love the club. You don't have to, we don't win an award for doing it. We just do it because we love it.
About it. We keep our mouths shut. We cheer on the boys. We wake our asses up in the morning. We have a hard shot of coffee and we just get on with it.
Best saying I ever heard in my life was someone said to me, because I used to just complain about early shifts and things, and I still do. But he said, a wise man once told me, if you can be a man at night, like in the evening, you can be a man in the morning. Like so if you're going to be the one who stays up, then you best believe that it's on your back to get up in the morning and do the day and seize the day as well. So, anyways, something a wise man once told me.
Yeah, there you go. So, I know the Wrexham fans or Wrexham locals would have experienced what it's like to be us, but we do it for 7 months. So, hey, yay.
Hey, no. I'm trying to make a point that we're not trying to complain, all right? I'm not trying to make a point that we're not being special because I'm sick of the badge of honor that people think that we wear because we get up. It's like, whoopee, we get up. Who cares? There's no badge of honor. We just do it. We love it. And I'm excited for this 2 games coming up. Speaking of games coming up, I'd love to address, and I know we've talked about it already personally, but the women's fixtures, mate, I'm actually so freaking pumped for that season to kick off in a month's time. Mate, what can you tell us? What have we got? And who have Wrexham women drawn in the Adran Genro bloody
All right,
league?
so we'll talk about the first game on September the 17th.
Let's
They'll be
do it.
playing at home at the Rock Stadium.
Yep.
And they will be
At
hosting
Dwayne the Rock
none
Johnson Stadium.
other
Yep.
than Swansea City. A proper Welsh derby that. Oh, that's juicy.
Yeah, I kind of like it because you want the whole point of getting this team promoted into being in a professional league is to play the big clubs. And, I'm not afraid to say it, Swansea City Women's are a big club. Cardiff Women, a big club. These clubs are big, and I'm really excited to see what these girls can do because they were pushed very similar to what the men were during the season last year by Knots. They were pushed as well by, I think, was it the Nomads? But basically was one of the clubs there, pushed them all the way. And I don't know, just seeing like Rosie and the gang, and just seeing all of these players getting ready for the season. You're seeing them on their socials. They're excited for the men's season to start, but also for the women's season to start. I definitely think this year we're going to see a lot more coverage for the women's league for obvious reasons, for the simple fact that we're in a bigger league now and we have something to play for.
And
honestly,
you know what?
it's going to be great.
I'm really pleased to see the rise of the women's game. And I know at the moment it's Women's World Cup.
Australia.
Congratulations to the Lionesses. 6-1 against China.
Fucking hell. What? This is an Australian podcast. Fuck that England shit off right now. You've just alienated 99.9% of the audience because they're Welsh or Australian, American, anyone who doesn't like the English. Well
Hang
done.
on,
I'm
getting to the Aussies. I've left them last for a reason, all right? Just
good.
Hold on to your Dax, right? Just take your Dax out of your ass for a second and let me finish what I was saying. Right. So the Lionesses stomped at 6-1, which is great to watch. But then there's our Matildas. Our Matildas.
There we go.
Without Sam Kerr, the world's #1 striker,
here we go.
They completely trumped Canada. And I tell you what, watching that game live, was it Rozzo? Rozzo, fuck me. Oh, the pace that these women are playing at is fucking brutal. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Aussie side at the moment. And if they can keep that intensity up, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And you know what? I think we might see, depending on how soon Sam Kerr comes back and what form she's in, we might see an Aussie versus England final.
And you know that everyone will be supporting Australia, right? Except for you.
I'll be crying in my fucking pillow, man. I'll be crying in my pillow because I do support Australia, but I also support England because I'm England born. So what can I say? I'm cursed. I'm fucking cursed. But
for that reason, guys, if it does happen, I will be doing an Australian watch party. So it'll be just Welsh people welcome, the Canadians, the Americans, New Zealand, all of the peeps that want to get around us because their team might not be still participating in the tournament anymore, or they might still be, but just want to get around Australia. If we line up against England at some point, for sure, we definitely want to see how that works out, because then you can do your English watch party and we'll go from there. No, I'm kidding. No, but you know what? It's great because there's a lot of dual nationals, and it's a very good point. Like it's quite interesting because for example, my mum's born in Scotland. My mum's Scottish, and obviously Scotland aren't in the World Cup for the women's, nor are Wales, unfortunately. But it's one of those things, though, right? Like, yeah, you have your country where you're born. Well, I'm born in Australia, so born and raised, but I still have a soft spot for Scotland whenever I see them running about in any sport, as long as they're not coming up against the Australians. So no, definitely a good shout out for those dual citizens. If you are a dual citizen, shout us out, because I'd love to know how many people are Welsh, maybe, because I know there's a lot of people, like there's people Welsh Dubai, like in people in the United Arab Emirates. There are some people who've moved to Spain. There's people who've moved all over the shop. So I'd love to know what they do. Especially, we had our Sydney Reds on the other week, and we had John, who's born, lived, raised in Wrexham. But I wonder now that he lives in Australia, does he have a soft spot for him? Does he talk about him? Or is it a thing of, fuck Australia, I'm
No,
here.
like, I think for me, I think I said it well the other week. It's going to be a real mix of emotions because it's going to be, no matter who wins, if it's Australia versus England, I'm going to be elated on one day and then pissed off the next. Because it's I love Australia and I love England.
Yeah.
And and to furthermore than England, I love Wales. I think I much prefer Wales over England, but anyway, that's another story. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be a tough thing to witness if that does come true, but it'll be a good thing. It'll be historic. It's been a very successful World Cup. We're seeing the women's game rising, and I'm very, very hopeful to watch our women go at it in the Adrian Premier League, and I hope they stick it to Swansea. So closer to that game, we'll preview that game when it comes up.
And I'm hoping we can, and this is just a bit of a call out to Wrexham people. We're looking to try and get more coverage of it. We understand that obviously the EFL has coverage and we have video footage of that, but there are people like us, and I know that listeners are the same, that they want to see the women's game and they want to see those things. Now, I know that there are available things for local TV stations in Wales and in the UK in general. But for us international viewers, there's not much. So if you do see anything around for it, share it around, share the love, because these girls deserve it. They've worked their asses off. You know, a lot of them got professional contracts from this to continue on with Wrexham, and they deserve the eyes on them as well. So I have a big feeling we'll also see a bit more on the women's in season 2 of Welcome to Wrexham. I don't know anything, guys. I'm not in the know, but I would imagine there'd be a big go on that. So again, more eyes on them, and hopefully that then pushes international viewership.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, these women, they really need that coverage.
100%.
It is a different style of game to what we're used to watching, but everything I've seen so far in the World Cup just epitomizes why we've got to be supporting the women. These women, they really, really go above and beyond, and they give up so much to do the sport that they love. And just to see what we did last year as a Wrexham unit, and to what the World Cup is now, getting packed out, sold out stadiums every single game. It's really special to see, and it's good that the focus of the game is sort of shifting to include women. So that's all I have to say about that. We will preview that Swansea game closer to it, but we've got a big week coming up. So just on the other side of this, we will wrap things up. Well, 10th episode, Adrian. 10 episodes in. I got to say, from this journey so far, it's been rather interesting to see it all unfold. And to get, bring something good to our fans is it's been really special. 10 episodes. We're not stopping here. We're going to keep going.
If we get cancelled, then yeah.
But we got some more things planned, but we're not going to say anything. If you want to know what we've got planned, become a patron. Join our Discord. $5 a month.
He's forcing people's hands here, guys. He's no, but look, he's got a good point. I think I'm just quickly on it. Chris puts an amazing amount of work into editing this for the YouTube and for the podcast, for Spotify, for Apple, for all of those things. So it's a massive shout out to Chris for doing what he does. I know we're only 10 episodes in and it doesn't seem like much of a milestone because we haven't even played a game yet. But for us, it means so much. We're seeing the analytics coming through, and It's constantly rising. We're getting more subs on the YouTube, more people downloading, and we can't thank you enough. And look, we can beg and plead and make big outlandish statements of, be a patron, be a subscriber, be a whatever. But at the end of the day, the fact that you guys listen to us, regardless, you don't have to pay a cent, you listen to us for free, you download it, we still see you. We still see what you put out.
And we will still treat you exactly the same. We treat all of our fans. We will reach out. If they reach out to us, we will talk back. We will never pay gate anything with regards to our content. And, we will never... Well, I just had to clarify that. We're not pay gating shit.
Well,
for your $5 a month, you're going to get so much more back. But anyway,
you did just say you pay gate like
what our private
things
Discord
we have in the
server?
works.
It's
all right. I'm just
if they want spoilers, if they want to know what's going on and all that, that's a good little spill.
But that's it. Enough about pushing an agenda here, guys. We are not doing that. We are having a great time. It's 10 episodes in. We are lucky to be friends from this. Again, this started out from me just tweeting from the Australian Wrexham supporters account, Chris tweeting from his personal account, having, a bit of banter back and forth, and then him reaching out being like, let's do this. And honestly, it's changed my life for the better. And, Look, I want to make a joke that, I've lost all my hair since doing this, but I had lost it all before then.
That's right.
So that's fine.
And you know what?
Chris,
you know what?
You know what? You're fine.
5,000 likes on this episode, and I'll do the next episode nude and start an OnlyFans.
Guys, I said there was no agenda, but that's the agenda. Is basically we're here to raise. It's like raise, when you see those fundraisers, our fundraiser is simply to see Chris nude. So ours is simply just chuck a like. It's free to do. So Jesus,
got to make 5,000 likes though. 5,000.
Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. I'm thinking about that because he's coming to the racecourse this weekend. Shout out to Hugh Jackman, who'll probably be at the racecourse because they've stopped filming Deadpool. I'm calling $1 odds. Hugh Jackman will be at the racecourse. No confirmed word, but that's my money on it. But the second thing, if you're listening, maybe Paul Rudd's listening because he's a fan now. Will Ferrell, all these big people with big fucking followings. I'm not asking you to share this pod for me. I don't care. If you say that, we get the 5,000 likes for him to do a nude podcast, and we'll literally, how like people like pixelate like nips out of the shot and stuff. We'll do that. Don't worry. We'll make it PG-13. Well, no, it'll be 18 plus, but we'll work it out. Point is, share it around, get him around it, and let's get Chris nude. How about that?
5,000 likes is not going to happen. That's why I said it so high. But anyway. We'll see. But hey, this brings us to the end of the episode. We've had
this was chaos.
This was chaos. This was shenanigans at its finest. So
this was a shit show, but I fucking loved it.
We're calling this episode shenanigans, and just like we do every week, we put the spotlight on a Wrexham artist, and this artist we've featured before, but they've just had a brand new release for the start of the season, so it felt only right to really push their new release. So it's Rockin' Robin. Search on Spotify, on Twitter, you'll find them easy enough. All the links are there, and I'll put a link in the description as well. Okay, and the Rockin' Robin song is called We're Back. We're back, baby. That's right. We are back in the Football League. So I imagine what this song's all about. That it's banging. So hey, Adrian, it's been good, mate. It's been fun having these shenanigans today and having a drink. So raise a glass to our followers and to you, Adrian. We love you.
Thanks, man.
And enjoy. So beard brethren and fuckheads, we implore you to listen to Rockin' Robin. We are back. See you next week.
We're back in the Football League. running out of juice. Mullen sending messages with his boots.